Thanks for joining our webinar today on UK residency through investment and business ownership. And Harvey will be joining us in a minute. So we have a speaker, Harvey Schulman, who will be joining this webinar in a minute. So my name is Muzaffar. Let me introduce myself. I'm a senior business consultant at Canfield's Law, and I'll be more than happy to brief about the UK residency visa programs that lead to settlement, that lead to citizenship. So, and also we have a number of interesting programs that we want to brief or do the comparison with, so you have a good understanding about the programs, so you compare them and make an informed decision. Before we start, we'd like to ask our audience if you can let us know which country you are joining us from today. Please put the reply in this chat. Which country are you joining us from today? That would be great. Good to hear. From South Africa for us. That's great. Belal is joining from Turkey. Great. Athena. India. Hi, Yasser. Thank you. Mani from India. Fantastic. Ziena, Egypt. Yasser from Egypt. Fantastic. Mustafa from Turkey. Great. And we have Fauzia from Bahrain, Bilal, Turkey, but Syrian. That's great. Thank you. We do have many clients, successful visa clients from these regions, from South Africa, India, Egypt, Syria, Bahrain, Turkey. So yeah, we'll be happy to assist if you decide to go ahead with one of our programs that we're gonna brief today. So we have Mohammed Naeem from Pakistan. Yes, we have lots of clients, successful clients from Pakistan. Thank you very much. So please let us know. Yeah, keep replying to this question. Which country, if you haven't replied, let us know which country are you joining us from. Thank you. My name is Muzaffar. I'm a senior business consultant at Canfield's Law. I've been more than 10 years in business immigration, assisting high net worth individuals, business professionals with residency by investment programs. I mean, finding them solutions, the right solutions that fit their needs. And I have a background in project financing. I used to be in investment banking and project financing. And also I have experience in venture capital, supporting UK startup companies with funding, mentorship. So that's a brief about me. And as I said, for the last 10 years, more than 10 years now, I have been in business immigration and also company establishment. We are strong in establishing businesses for our clients. So that's another value you will receive once you become our client. We give you, guide you, support you on your business. If you decide to set up a business in the UK, we can help. Harvey, who will be joining us in a minute, let me also introduce you to Harvey. If you are joining our webinar for the first time, Harvey is a senior consultant at Canfield's Law. He's a lawyer with more than 30 years of experience, UK solicitor. And Harvey is a serial entrepreneur. He has a number of successful business ventures in the UK. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's very business-minded lawyer. What I like about Harvey is a very business-minded lawyer, very creative. And also he has a strong experience in real estate field. He used to manage properties, assets in the amount of approximately 4 billion pounds under management, assets under management in the real estate field. So he's very well connected in the UK, has a strong network, and I think that's another value. He's once you become our client, you have access to Harvey's advice, connections, network, and mentorship. So he's also a mentor to a number of startups, multinational companies. So that's Harvey. He's also on advisory board for a number of companies in the UK. So I hope that gives a bit of background information about Harvey. Let me also brief about our law firm, Canfield's Law. The agreement will be with Canfield's Law. If you decide to go ahead, Canfield's Law has a Lexel accreditation. We're based in London. We're expanding internationally as well. Business immigration is one of our one of our areas of expertise, but also Canfield is not limited just in immigration. So we have other, we have corporate lawyers, we have conveyancing, etc. But the immigration we're talking today, it's all about the immigration. So we are immigration experts. Canfield's Law has Lexel accreditation. Lexel is given to selected law firms in the UK, and we're very proud to receive Lexel every year. It's like a kite mark. It's given to selected. Not every law firm gets a Lexel. And that's about Canfield's. And our industry-leading offer, which has been really great and fantastic offer for our clients, is no win, no fee. What is no win, no fee? It is as a sentence says, no win, no fee means that if we don't get a visa, if we don't get a license or didn't deliver, we don't get paid. So we work based on success. And put simply, if we take you on as a client and don't get you a visa, we will refund your initial fee. You lose nothing. The reasons are we offer no win, no fee. There are two main reasons. One is that we've been very strong on the skilled worker visas. Well, I'm going to brief about the skilled worker visa, self-sponsorship in a minute. But our immigration team has been really strong. No refusals. We've been getting this visa successfully. That's the one reason, our confidence if we accept you as a client. The second reason of offering no win, no fee, I believe, is because of the eligibility test. Once you decide to go ahead, or before you decide to go ahead, we also set up a diagnostic sessions. We do ask questions, just want to understand more about your background, qualifications, and if you pass the eligibility test, and if you have a good qualification, a good background, business experience or professional experience, and if we accept you pass the eligibility test, that means that we will submit a strong case to deliver that visa for you. So, and that's why the no win, no fee is if we accept you, that means that we will deliver that. And we'll submit a strong case to deliver. Harvey just joined. Hi, Harvey. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, hello, Mose.
Okay, great. Harvey, I just commented on no win, no fee, right? And then maybe you also would like to add your comments about our industry-leading offer. And surely no win, no fee has been a fantastic offer. I mean, our client really like this.
Well, the answer is yes, but the best way to test it, as I think you often do, is to ask the audience, if you've not already done so, if they are aware of anyone else offering a no win, no fee promise. So I don't know anybody that promotes such a good offer, that you don't pay unless you get the visa. So it gives confidence to the client. They know that we're only going to do cases we are really confident will succeed. Otherwise, we're just wasting our time. Why would we do that? And that confidence factor is very important. And secondly, our interests and those of the client are aligned. They're together. So if we advise the client something, they know that we're acting in their best interests, because their best interests are our best interests. So that's what I would say, Muzaffar.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. And just to get the no win, no fee offer, we have this webinar attendee bonus as a thank you for attending our webinar today. The no win, no fee will be condition in that in the agreement, in our client care letter. If you decide to go ahead to get the offer, the simple step is to book a diagnostic consultation today. And diagnostic session is we do have 15 minutes. We have 1 hour Zoom calls. You have like a choice of 15 minutes. We have free. It's more of what we offer as free 15 minutes diagnostic sessions. It's a great way to.
I'd call it, Muzaffar, I'd call it a discovery session, where we're discovering the basic facts which help us to decide if we can be of assistance.
Yeah, so we will then guide you and like advise you on potential visa options. And if you want to have a detailed discussion about that, of course, the 1 hour sessions are will be the next step. So to get the offer, you have this. I think you will receive a link in a minute. Just click that link and you can secure this session with our expert advisors. By the way, it's like we use a calendar system, so you can actually choose your expert advisor. We have you can choose a diagnostic session with Harvey, myself, Mariam, and we have, for example, Mike, head of immigration. So you will have those options to when you go to the calendar link. Today's webinar is 45 minutes to 1 hour with a Q&A session. We will brief about the skilled worker visa for entrepreneurs and talk about the benefits. And also we will brief about the self-sponsorship skilled worker visa, which has been quite a trend among our clients. So we'll talk about the requirements and benefits. And of course, we have our special offer, providing the benefits of both. And of course, just want to highlight or mention limited number of free consultations for webinar attendees. Harvey's diary is, fully, quite, it is busy. My diary is also. If you want to get that free consultations after this webinar for webinar attendees, so I do, encourage you to go through the link and book that session with expert advisors. Right, about immigration through investment in the United Kingdom. Starting in 2019, the United Kingdom closed its extremely popular Tier 1 entrepreneur visa. Perhaps you heard about the entrepreneur visa. It has been really popular. The requirements for the entrepreneur visa was 200,000 investment into any business in the UK, except real estate. There were some exceptions. But that was very, very popular visa among our clients, and followed by the 2 million Tier 1 investor visa as part of the investor immigration clampdown. So the Home Office closed this 2 million visa investor visa back in 2000. Well, entrepreneur was closed in 2019. Investor visa followed. And we used to have clients and they call us and Muzaffar or Harvey, I can invest 2 million, I can invest 5 million. Can I get my settlement? Can I get my passport, British citizenship? So for them, they had to stay 5 years to get the ILR, and in year 6 to get a passport. But in today's webinar, we do have much more cost-effective, tailored solutions that we can offer for you. You don't have to invest 2 million, for example. It gets you to the same outcome through the self-sponsorship or skilled worker visa, which we'll brief today. Through our significant experience and relationship with companies across the UK, Ireland, and the Isle of Man, we are able to help clients achieve the same residence benefits at a lower cost. And Harvey, do you agree with that? There used to be a 2 million investor visa, but the outcome for that for the investor visas, they had to stay 5 years to get the ILR. So. But now with our, the current programs we have, you don't have to invest 2 million. It's much more cost-effective way to come to the UK, isn't it? Like the skilled worker visa or something.
Well, in the old days, if you invested £2 million, you wouldn't get a permanent right to stay in the UK for 5 years. If you do our skilled worker program, then for a fraction of that amount of money, you get the same outcome. So fraction,
yes, exactly. So for the fraction, you get the same outcome, Harvey. definitely. I 100% agree. So would you like, yeah, sorry for the interruption. You wanted to say?
No, I just wanted to make that point that the skilled worker visa, and there are a couple of other visas we always look at as well when we have a diagnostic call. It's a very attractive route if you have the qualifications that mean that you could apply for it. So, so it's well worth considering if your objective is to obtain permanent residency in the UK. It's a very interesting method, provided you've got the right qualifications and we're able to introduce you to a suitable opportunity.
Yeah. So, and the first opportunity, which has been really popular among our clients, is called skilled worker visa. Skilled worker visa. Well, first of all, what is this skilled worker visa? It's an employment visa. In order to get this visa, you need to get a job offer from the UK employer company, and the employer company should have a sponsorship license. Let's say you applied from your home country to, for jobs, and you secure the job offer from the employer that has a sponsorship license. Then you can come to the UK under this visa with your family, and if you stay 5 years under this visa, skilled worker visa, you can apply for ILR. ILR stands for indefinite leave to remain. In 5 years, you and your family can apply for ILR. And after 12 months of holding the ILR in year 6, you can apply for British citizenship in year 6. So that's a roadmap, and there will be benefits for your family members. Your spouse can work full-time, no restrictions. As a dependent, your spouse can work, and your spouse can do business. Also, your children will have access to, state schools, British schools. State schools are free for your children. Those are additional benefits for your family members, for your children. And also, just want to add that the access to the healthcare system or healthcare will be also free once you arrive to the UK under this visa. Right. But what are the terms? What are the conditions for the skilled worker visa? The Home Office has increased the salary. It used to be £26,200 per year, but now the minimum salary for skilled workers has to be not less than £38,700 per year. And if you get a job at that salary range, then, as I said, it's a great way to come to the UK and also settle. There is no limit for the visa extension. If you get a 1-year contract, you can keep extending. There is no limit. Just wanted to add. So when it comes to the skilled worker visa benefits, it's a very straightforward. Once you get a job offer, we call it a certificate of sponsorship. It's the application is quite straightforward. Opportunity to travel and work remotely, opportunity for career advancement. But I understand. I think the question from you could be also, okay, how we can get the job? Because I understand also, and we understand that it's not an easy task to secure the job if you're outside the UK, isn't it? So you need to apply, you need to go through the interview process. So, and what actually makes us different and the unique, I think, points or what makes us different is that we have a very good network or connections with a number of employer companies in the UK with sponsorship licenses, and we can, if you have the right skill set, CV, experience, and then what we can do, we can match the right company, right vacancy, and secure the potential that job offer for you. And Harvey, regarding the share purchase, perhaps you would like to comment how that match is done. Let's say someone with a great CV, great qualification experience. How do we do that matching? Maybe you can comment on the matching process.
Well, just on the matching process, what we do is we compare the experience and qualifications with the job opportunities we understand are available. And if we can find a match or a potential match, then we will have a discussion with the applicant to see whether that would be of interest. Normally our judgments are correct. If the proposal is of interest, then we'll take it further, and ultimately there'll be an interview with the applicant, with the employer, or on behalf of the employer, to make sure that the job is the right one and that both parties will be satisfied. So I hope I've covered that question you asked me.
And then you mentioned about the genuineness as well. So the job.
Well, there are 3 points here that if you're going to succeed with a skilled worker, there are 3 boxes you have to tick. You have to tick. The first box is that you must be genuine yourself. You've got to be a genuine applicant for the job. So we judge that by interview, by looking at your CV, and we make that judgment. The second is that the job that you're applying for must be a genuine job. It can't be a fake job, a made up job. It's got to be a real job. So that's something that we ascertain and have to be satisfied about. And the third box is that the employer is a genuine employer conducting a genuine business. It's not a fake employer. And if those 3 genuineness tests are ticked, then you're in with a reasonable prospect of satisfying the Home Office that you should get the visa. So that's what I would answer you, Muzaffar.
Yeah, Bobby, thank you very much. And the way that we assist and we can really help you to secure that the job, Harvey, I think you mentioned about the match, how we do the matching process. And I just want to mention that it's through the share purchase. So what you can do, you can purchase shares of the potential investee company, skilled worker visa applicant, and Home Office used to allow to purchase up to 10% shares. Home Office has removed that 10% cap, so it means that you can purchase any amount of shares and join as an employee. That's why the self-sponsorship has also become quite popular, because
Muzaffar, the point here is that the employer company gives a number of benefits to the applicant. We can't cover them all today. There just is not enough time. But there are the human performance managers, there is the skilled workers club, and the employer will not want to employ somebody from overseas and then have to terminate the employment because the applicant isn't sufficiently diligent or may not be completely up to the job. They don't want to ask someone to come to the country and then have to do that. So what they expect is a total commitment to the job, to genuineness, and to the company. And they do that by asking the skilled worker to invest in the employer company, as is permitted by the Home Office. And as you correctly said, there used to be a limit of 10% of the shares that an employee could take, but that's been removed. But in practice, we don't reach the 10% point. But the key thing is that the employee does commit to the company by making an investment, and in return, apart from the significant salary, gets access to other benefits and support and help. And I've just given a couple of examples. So,
Harvey, yeah, thank you. So just to summarize,
the important thing to say, Muzaffar, is if you're getting a salary of £40,000, then one of the big problems when you get to the UK is to a large extent overcome. And that is, we have found in practice that skilled workers often find it very difficult to get to get rented accommodation because their salaries are not sufficiently high for the owner of the property. But once you tell the owner you've got £40,000 a year salary, it becomes a great deal easier to find suitable accommodation.
Exactly, yeah. 40,000 is a great salary, a good starting point.
And also, Muzaffar, your status level is higher.
Yeah.
Your job title reflects your career opportunities are improved because you are seen to be at a managerial level.
Athena is asking a question. In case employer terminates contract after 1 year, do we need to gain 88K to renew it or come back to our home country? That's the question from Athena.
Well, I think you can answer that, Muzaffar. The company would normally require a further investment each year the contract runs on. But if the employee is generating significant revenue for the company, then that's a matter that can be negotiated. The other important point is this, that in the year, you can look at a number of other opportunities. For example, number one, gaining a higher qualification by study, and the employer will probably agree to flex your hours to enable you to get the higher or necessary qualification to get a better job. Number two, to search for another job with an employer who has a sponsor license, and that gives you the time to do it. Or third, which a lot of people are now doing, arranging to set up your own company, which you would own effectively and which will carry out business in the UK, and you would be the person running the company. There are requirements and things that, again, have to be done to qualify, but a lot of people, particularly those that want to build up their own businesses, find that extremely attractive. So there are a number of things that you can do in the year, and if at the end of the year you decide that your bread is buttered in the best way by staying in your job, then we try and agree with the employer that they will continue with your job on these terms. And of course, occasionally we do get people who are very concerned about the security of the job, and although it's, we think, not necessary, they often ask to pay a sufficient investment to guarantee a 3-year contract, and that's something we can discuss if it's a relevant matter. So yeah, the point is, there are a number of different ways our diagnostic call can go, but if your intention is to use this route, there are many different variations, and we always look at 1 or 2 other little visas that could be relevant to you. I only mention them in passing because we don't wish to be here till the latter part of the day. For example, we'll always have a quick chat about the innovator visa, and we can chat about what's called the business expansion visa. These are all potentials depending on your circumstances in your home country. So it's a wide-ranging analysis. And we also look at the position of your family, of your spouse, of your partner, their situation. Could they be in a better position than you to get the skilled worker visa? These are all considerations that we look at.
Yeah. Thank you. And I think that just what Harvey said, just want to add, it's a really flexible, the 1-year contract is a really flexible contract. During the diagnostic session, we'll tell you more about the extensions. Like Harvey already mentioned, if you find a job, I call it career progression extension, you can change the employer. The second is if you perform, if you add value, contribute, generate income, you can, the extensions are followed by, payment of the salaries or continuation of the salaries, by then, no further investment perhaps is required. If you do perform, but it depends on the performance. Second, and the third option, like Harvey said, there is also, you can purchase shares. to extend, and also self-sponsorship. The next topic will be a self-sponsorship. But what you can do, you can, after 1 year, you can have a parachute option. We call it parachute plan, where you can, 12 months is a good time for us to establish company, get a license for your company, and then after 1 year, you can switch or be employed by your own company under the same visa. So again, as you can see, there will be a number of flexible options, and happy to debrief you during the diagnostic session. The next topic is the self-sponsorship. If you're interested in setting up, I mean, self-sponsorship is really good for business people. If you do have a business experience, by the way, how many of you have a business experience? If do reply me, if you have a business experience on this chat. Let's see how many people have a business experience. Please do reply me here if you do have a business experience. Bilal, I have. Karandeep, fantastic. You are also have a business. Kareem, Ziena, Sharif, fantastic. Precious, I do have a business experience, fantastic. Faraz, 15 years. Antosh, great. You see, so we have in this audience, we have many business people. Modular furniture, yeah.
And the other thing, Mustafa, just to mention to you, which we again can't cover today, there is what I would call a super service, like almost an elite service, for people who have significant money to invest, where we can put them into a real estate or professional services company with absolute assurances of higher salaries and benefits. But these are for the people who have above average wealth, and their options we can also consider, because they could be very attractive.
Yeah, so this also can be briefed during diagnostic session. So we do have a program, we call it Elite Plan. So definitely, I do recommend to book a session so we can brief. We do have a bit of limited time today's webinar, so that's why I would say
yes, you better push on those.
We'll give. We'll talk about the skill work and then self-sponsorship today. Self-sponsorship has been really popular and among business people. And thank you for replying today. I can see many of you are having, have a business experience. That's great to see. So what is the self-sponsorship? It's the same skill worker visa. At the end, it's the same skill worker visa. But the main difference will be that you you can have a business in the UK if you have an existing business or you have intention to set up a business. So it's what we can do. We can set up a business or get the license for your existing business, and then your company can sponsor you for that skill worker visa. So you will be working for your own company under this visa. So, and your company will be a sponsor, employer. And your UK business will need to obtain a sponsor license so that you can apply for a skill worker visa for this route. And our sponsorship packages include. So we do we do provide you end-to-end A to Z solution, or we call it one-stop shop solution. If you go for self-sponsorship route, it will consist of three phases. Phase one will be establishment stage. We'll start establishing business for you. Well, it needs to be matched to your current profile. For example, I think you said modular furniture, Tina. If you have experience in modular furniture, ideally, we will be looking into setting up a business in that particular field where you have that experience team. Then the next step will be to get the second phase will be getting a license for your modular furniture business, for example, in the UK. And then once we get the license, then the next stage will be to get a course, certificate of sponsorship. And the good thing about this, because it's your company, the length of the course you can decide, 3 years or longer, and we can get the visa for that period of time, 3 years or longer. The key important aspects, which Harvey already mentioned, is on the self-sponsorship, your business has to be genuine. That's number one. You need to really run the genuine business. The second point I'd like to mention that your employment has to be genuine. You need to be really active, genuinely working for your company. which means once your visa is granted, you come to the UK, you'll have 90 days to start your employment, and you would need to receive a salary on time, the 38,700 or 40,000 pounds approximately, and be active. So, but it's a great way to come with your family, get all the benefits that skilled worker offers. In 5 years' time, you can apply for ILR, and we can help. The extensions are also quite straightforward. As long as you've been working, as long as you've been active, genuinely doing business, genuinely active in your role, then the extensions are also quite straightforward. So our package, as I said, we do end to end. So establishment stage includes introduction, like some company setup, opening a bank account, introducing the British Director Authorizing Officer. If you have someone, we can appoint, but if you need, we also can introduce a British Director. Harvey, maybe you also wanted to comment on the benefits of our services, especially on the corporate part, where where we also
Yes.
the British Director.
Well, in order to set up your own company in the UK and comply with what the Home Office require, you have to tick a number of boxes, and they are impossible for you to deal with from overseas. And even when you get to the UK, they're extremely difficult. And the things I'm talking about are, for example, you need to find an office. We have offices around the country. We can help accommodate you. The second point is that you have to register the company for various taxes. That requires knowledge. We can deal with that. You have to get certain insurance. We can do that. You have to put together a mini business plan. We can do that. You have to get some knowledge about the nature of the business you have to conduct. You have to get a bank account. We can help with that. So all these commercial things that need to be done before the Home Office will look at your application, and the advice that we give to prevent your application being rejected, which it's quite easy to achieve if you don't know what you're doing. We do all of this, and that's why we recommend that you get to the UK on a skilled worker visa and settle in before moving to what we call the self-sponsor visa, which gives you time to organize, to make sure your application is as perfect as it can be before we submit it. And we get lawyers ringing us saying, "Oh, we're getting rejected. Do you know why it's happening?" We can see what the Home Office don't like, and we would advise you so that you don't do the things they don't like, to make sure that you do get your sponsorship visa, if that is the way you'd like to go. Because a lot of people are trying to do it now, and the Home Office are not stupid. They can see a lot of these applications are fake or baseless or not genuine. So they've got some policy rules that they seem to be applying at the moment, and they don't ask, they simply reject the application. They don't ask further questions, and you don't have further correspondence. So it's really important to get it right first time. So that's what I would say on that topic, Mazata.
Harvey, thank you. Yeah, just to summarize on the self-sponsorship, it's suitable for business people or who have experience.
And just quickly, somebody asked Amir, what visa can you get if you can only stay in the country for 2 months? Well, it depends why you're coming. If you're coming as a tourist, it's a visitor visa. If you're coming to look at business opportunities, it's a business visitor visa. And if you want to establish yourself in the UK with a view to getting residence, then you've got to get to one of the other types of visas we've mentioned.
I think just want to comment on Amar's question. Amar, I understand maybe you don't have maybe your business or commitment with your current role doesn't allow you to travel much or stay in the UK. And I think the diagnostic sessions, like Harvey mentioned, it's a great way to assess that and see And sometimes the solution could be that spouse can be the main applicant. You become dependent, Amr, and you put your spouse as the main applicant. And then if your spouse and children stay or can stay, that also perhaps could be an alternative solution. And that's what we will be discussed during the diagnostic session. So if you can't stay, we have the situation that husband puts spouse, like wife, as the main applicant, or vice versa. So just to kind of mention that, I'm not saying that this is a solution, but a potential alternative solution could be discussed.
And very quickly, Cardeep, you asked a question about VAT, value-added tax. That's an accountancy issue that we would have to talk to you about in a discussion. It's not something we can address now. It's a tax-related matter. And MD asked, does online commerce help in getting visas? Not particularly. It's whatever business you're offering has to be a genuine trading business. Most businesses today achieve an online activity, but there's no particular rule except to say your business has got to be viable, credible, and genuine.
Brilliant. Thank you, Harvey. And MD, I believe that answers to your question. If you have any more questions, we do have Q&A session, so feel free to post questions here on this chat. Harvey, we do also extend a special offer, which is actually a combination of the skill worker, the 88K plan, and then the self-sponsorship. And it's really a good way of fast tracking, because the share purchase or 88K plan is the fastest way. It takes about 3 months if you want to come to the UK sooner. The self-sponsorship, just wanted to highlight that it takes 6 months because of stages. You need to establish company, get the license, get a visa. So you need to allow about 6 months time. So, and what we have is a combination in our today's webinar, which is an extended special offer, and we created a 55,000 skill worker visa plan. It's it's your 88,000 plan, but you are like installment. It's an installment plan. You have 55, and the rest if you stay after 6 months. But what you get in return, you get a contract. You come quicker. You come fast. Well, it's a faster process. You join existing company, and you will have that 1 year, and within 6 months, what will and the team will start activate the sales sponsorship route for you. We'll start setting up a company, get the license, and it's, as I said, takes 6 months. And after 6 months, you have that option where you can switch your employment from employer A to the employer B, and that employer B will be your business or your company. If that makes sense. So, and that's the 88K plan in installments. So what you do here, you have like combination of both skill worker, share purchase, joining existing company, and after 6 months, ideally switching to your own company. And we call it parachute option. Harvey, why we call it parachute option, parachute plan? Perhaps you'd like to comment. It's a quite an interesting name, parachute plan, isn't it? Parachute option.
Well, the reason we call it a parachute plan is when you hear about somebody parachuting out of a plane, what image do you have? The image is that instead of crashing, you land safely on the ground. The point is, if you go for the skilled worker first and you were unlucky, you did not get your sponsor license, you still have a job and you negotiate with your employer and you can stay on and you don't need to leave the country. If, on the other hand, you try and get the sponsor license first, let's just think about what could happen. Well, first of all, we know these applications could take 6 months. People mislead other people with answers about how quick it is. Yes, it could be very quick if everything is perfect, but often it can last a number of months. Meanwhile, you're sitting in your home country, waiting. Then suppose you're refused. What happens then? You wasted all that time when you could have been in the country clocking up the days towards your permanent residency. That doesn't make any sense. And then if you are refused, where are you? You're in a plane. You never landed safely. You disappeared. Whereas in the method that we're discussing, you're safely landed on the ground because you have this parachute option that's always there. And if you make it to self-sponsorship, if that's your desire, then great. But if you don't, you haven't put yourself in a position where first the Home Office know you've made an application and they've rejected you, and they'll keep a record of it. So when you try for your next visa, you'll be on the list of people that they'll notice has already failed to get a visa. That can't be a good start for anyone. So it's always better and common sense to take the low-hanging fruit. And the lowest hanging fruit is the skilled worker visa, or possibly, if your circumstances are appropriate, what we might call the business expansion visa. But any other method is not, in my view, attractive. Let's suppose you try the innovator visa. Well, that could take months, and the success rate is about, if you're lucky, 20% now. But if you come to the country and you've got a great idea and you want to be an innovator, great. We can work on it. You can get the application sorted out, all without pressure. All without pressure. And the way to avoid the pressure is to get your interim skilled worker position, if we can negotiate that. We're not a job factory. We're not purely a recruitment agency. That's not what we do. But we are able to help a number of people where jobs are available. And if they are available, it's not a case of, I'll let you know in 3 months. If the opportunity drops on the table, you've got to take it, because it won't be there if you spend a long time thinking about it. So this puts you in the strongest possible position to achieve your objective, if your objective is permanent residency in the UK. And it's pure common sense. Anyone who thinks about it can see it. Now, the reason other people can't do this is they don't have the corporate connections that enable them to find the job opportunities. We are not purely an immigration firm. We are not. We're a corporate firm. We're a commercial firm which does immigration. That's completely different. So we do a range of business activities, which is very helpful to you because we can help on a number of other related matters. But the point is, we come to immigration from a business connection where we have worked with many, many startup companies and helped fund them and find money for them. And because of that, we have this connection which can solve problems that other people will find extremely difficult to resolve. There is no way of resolving, so they can't offer you the option, and therefore you're left with one choice only: get a sponsor license from outside the UK. And the other important thing is, when you get the sponsor license, in order to qualify, you need to fill 2 official positions in the company. One is called an authorized officer, and the other is called a level 1 user. And you need UK resident qualified people to do it. And we're able to provide these people who can perform those services, without which you will not get a sponsor license. So if you look at it in the way I've described, you'll easily see that if it's possible, doing it in the way we're putting forward is far, far superior to doing it any other way. And it won't cost you any more money, because if you set up your own company, you've got to put enough money in the company to make it happen, to make the Home Office satisfied that it's going to be a genuine trading company. So the relative cost is no different, but the method of doing it in a 2-stage process is far more likely to succeed. So that's really,
Yeah.
Muzaffar, what I would say.
Yeah, Avi, I think you summarized this in great way of summarizing this parachute option. So just to summarize, you have the option, you can come under 55K and the team will try to get the sales sponsorship in 6 months time, or you have an option to go for 88K plan with 40,000 salary. You have a 1 year, and within 12 months, you have that option to switch to sales sponsorship after.
And Muzaffar, I'm sorry, very quickly, somebody asked, is there an age restriction? Not really. We once helped a lady from America who was 81. So if you're over 60, but you've got the right CV, it's not a barrier. It's not a barrier. And yes, Faraz, if you've got a business overseas and you want to set up a branch in the UK, that is certainly a topic worth considering and might involve potentially what we call a business expansion type visa, but we'd have to talk through that. So
great.
We can't answer all the questions, unfortunately. There are too many, Muzaffar.
Yeah, and I would like to, I think, Mike Lloyd, perhaps you can play the video. Thank you.
My name is Nilanka. I'm originally a Sri Lankan.
My name is Shahzad, and I'm originally from Pakistan.
My name is Njideka Edna Ike, and I'm Nigerian.
I'm from Jordan. I'm so much excited to tell you about my experience.
I have 2 daughters, 6 and 2, and my wife. Since we all wanted to come to a country like UK, we were actually looking for many opportunities, even from my wife's side, from my side, and all that. And then on the first call itself, we realized this is the best way to come to the UK, and then we started.
I wasn't sure which visa to switch to after I graduated. The skilled worker visa, it gives me ample time and flexibility to actually run my own business.
The result is very positive. I'm so happy. My family is so happy. My 2 little daughters, although they don't know much about what is going to happen to them, but they're so much happy. They're waiting until they want to see the sea and swim.
I love Isle of Man a lot, actually. Sometimes what happens, you are happy to relocate to another place, but your family is not happy. But in this case, so that's why, I can say that Isle of Man is a good place to live from security perspective, from environmental perspective, from all these perspectives, and from even family relations perspective. Isle of Man people, this is my personal observation, that all of them you consider as a part of your family.
I have dealt with 3-4 of the team. All of them are at a high professional level. All of them are considerate.
You actually explain, you educate people on what's the steps, what they don't know about. You inform them. They've been really great in helping get the skilled worker visa.
We are here now, and it actually given us a lot of opportunities, not only from our end, but also from our kids' end, because their education is the main goal for us.
I don't know why everybody is under the impression that immigrating to UK is something out of the impossible. If not impossible, it's next to impossible. I told them no. Take me for example. Your efforts have been wound up successfully, which I appreciate very much. You have helped me. You have helped my family. You made something that I have never thought about coming to the UK or to the Isle of Man. Actually, before March 2022, I never heard of the Isle of Man. Honestly, maybe I was ignorant, but I never heard of it. Actually, I was discussing this with my wife.
I would say the most important thing is peace of mind.
It was very smooth and easy. I didn't have any headache.
And would you recommend us to others?
Yeah, sure. I will recommend CanFields to others, and I have done it actually already.
Would you recommend us to others?
I already did. I already started, by the way.
Obviously, yes, I'm doing it actually.
I will, yes.
Open your passport and show them the visa.
Yes, of course.
There's the proof.
Yes, of course. This is the visa.
Very good. Very good.
So look at the photo on the visa and look at the photo here. See the difference?
You look younger in person. I'm just
Actually
kidding.
happier. Thank you.
Brilliant. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave your comments here. How was the video? How's the success stories from our existing clients? And these are our existing clients from different countries. And we have successfully got the visas. They all come under no-win, no fees as well. And you can see that they're sharing their success stories. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave your comments. How was the video? Azmi, yes, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Azmi, as well for your comments. As Harvey mentioned about the supporting your success, for us is getting the visa is the part of the journey. So it's the starting of a journey. And what actually makes us different from other firms, once you become a client, once we get you the visa, the journey begins. Yeah, the journey doesn't end once your visa is successful. Actually, the journey begins because, like Harvey mentioned about the human performance managers, and it's a great way of being, informed, being up to trend. Also receiving support in your settlements in the UK general, plus in employment. So you will be attached to human performance managers who will be following up with you on a weekly basis. That's a great support. And also, Harvey mentioned about the Skills Workers Club, which is a great community. You have a networking, let's call it networking opportunity with existing skill workers whom we acted for and assisted. So you can share also your success stories and they can share. So it's a great environment that you will be after. And what I would like to say, the post-visa support is really vital, but many firms, they don't do that. But we work with you it's a long relationship. It's because our point B is to get you ILR in 5 years. I think most of our clients, their point B is to get a settlement, the family future, but also citizenship is part of the journey. So that's where we work with you. So it's a long-term relationship, and the human performance management skill worker club is part of that relationship as well. Just wanted to mention to book a diagnostic. I see that many of you have already booked. So that's great. And what we do, hourly rate of our lawyers, we value our lawyers' time, our time, your time. It's a £250 per hour, normally the full diagnostic sessions. But what we do offer is that you can get it for free today. And that's the great, in my opinion, bonus or offer for today's attendees. It's a special offer. And of course, if you would like to find out more, go through that eligibility diagnostic session. Yeah, we look forward to speaking with you. So Harvey, we'll take that Q&A session. We do have 2-3 minutes left. I think the 1 hour allocated time is coming to the end. But Harvey, let's address some of the questions perhaps.
Whatever you want, Mustafa.
I think you answered about the age limits, Azmi.
Yes, I've done that one.
We have a lady, she's 81. She was 81, but she's 84, I believe now. We got her visa at age, so no age restrictions. How much will it cost for the self-sponsorship package? I think that's the question from Precious. Okay, very good question. Self-sponsorship, we charge 30. It's a one-stop shop solution. You get all the phases, end-to-end service, and it's payable over the period of 6 months because it takes 6 months, like Harvey said, and it's installment, 4 payments as we progress. So once you sign an agreement, you only pay 5. We start working on a case. And then, as we progress, there will be, and you get the pay, no win, no fee for the license. If we don't get the license, you get that fee refunded, for example, as I said. We do offer no win, no fee. And also you get a no win, no fee on the visa, on the self-sponsorship. And what it includes, it's as Harvey mentioned, we do also offer that provide you or supply the British director, we'll call it authorizing officer for the license. And that authorizing officer is for 6 months. So that's our legal fee include of that for 6 months. And after 6 months, you can replace, you have a number of options there we can discuss. So I hope that answers to your question. The 88K plan includes a legal fee of 20, so the 68 will be investment, and you get shares and the salary in return. And the payment plan is also you pay 5 once you sign agreement. You get no win, no fee for that 5, which means that if you don't get a visa, that 5,000 is refundable. The balance will be on the success. So we work based on the success. Pay as you go based on success. And if we don't deliver, we don't get paid. But as Harvey mentioned about some, like, for example, if you refuse, etc. So the good point about the skilled worker visa, we don't have any refusals. All our clients getting this visa successfully. So we'll be happy to assist. And that's why you get no win, no fee. It's our confidence. Ola Sunkami asking question. I'm a finance professional. Any hope for me? Ola Sunkami, there are a number of options for you. We just need to understand about a little bit more about your situation, background, the motivation why you want to come to the UK or any other countries. So, and then we can tailor. There are solutions. There are so much that Harvey, I think the question was any hope for finance professional. We have so many financial professionals in our.
Yes, we have chartered accountants. We have people who've advised on finance. We've managed to help. So yes, I would think it's definitely a possibility. But as you said, and I've said, until you dig into the details and learn more about the individual, you can't give a precise answer. We've given a general indication. If you have a call with us and we see your CV, we'll be in a much better position to tell you.
Yeah, perfect. And the next question is from Santosh. Is there any education criteria for skilled worker visa? Santosh, just to answer to your question, skilled worker visa is not a qualification visa. Skilled worker visa is a skill set. So let's say you don't have qualification. It doesn't mean you are, but you have a great experience. You have a work experience, which comes with interpersonal skills you developed over the period of years of working or business. That's a skill set. So technically, the qualification is not mandatory, but it is your case will be much stronger, of course, if you cannot provide the qualification experience. Harvey, I hope you agree with me. It's a skill set, but the qualification is the bonus, of course. If you if the person doesn't have, for example, let's say bachelor's degree, will that person qualify for the skilled worker visa? I think that's the question.
The answer is possibly. If you don't have some educational qualification that speaks for itself, then you could still qualify by reason of business experience. But you'll need to show the experience, show it in your CV, and get personal referees to confirm that the capability you say you have is true. So you're not ruled out. You've just got to provide a bit more evidence to show that you have the skill set necessary.
Yeah, perfect. And further questions? I think we can. How much pressures? I think we've answered this question. How much it will cost? Okay, so Karandeep, I'm a seller on e-commerce platforms and already paying taxes in the UK. Does this help in set up business in the UK? We want to set up a local business entity in the UK and get a business visa. Karandeep, like Harvey said, we are not tax experts. We can introduce you tax advisors. It's a specialist field. We are business immigration experts, so we can advise you on the visa. But having this, to answer to your question, we do have UK has, is a great place to do business. So in terms of once we establish business, we will introduce you to some tax advisors who can advise you on non-domicile taxes. But also, if you want to go for the lower tax jurisdictions, we also have excellent opportunity on the Isle of Man, where there's no income tax, there's no corporation tax. So I believe, or Ireland also has a very a lower tax, I would say comparatively lower tax regime where corporation tax is much lower than in it's the lowest in Europe anyway. Let's put it that way. And comparing to the UK, it's much lower as well. So, Karandeep, I think we need to have a diagnostic session to discuss this. So happy to. So James, what about digital marketing and data analytics? James, yes. So you can set up a business in that field, absolutely fine. And also we do have employers, if you want to join under the share purchase program. I'm sure we can find the right company for your skill set. I hope that's answered to your question. And Bilal, a family member of mine, sought asylum in the UK 3 years ago, and he was granted one. Could this affect my case?
No, because he's got nothing to do with you. Everyone is treated as an individual. They're not going to say that because one person got asylum, you are also going to be rejected because you might apply for asylum. But we don't do asylum cases. Those are not our people. We look after business people, and we'll want to be satisfied you're a genuine business person and not someone who's trying to come into the UK by the back door and suddenly arrive and claim asylum, because that won't work. There is no chance of you getting asylum by doing something like that. And the Labour government, who's now in place, will make sure that you're exited from the country a lot quicker than before. But in terms of would you be accepted for a job because some other member of your family claimed asylum, the answer is it should not make any difference.
I think you mentioned a very good point, Harvey. We haven't mentioned about the recent election, what effect will have into potential changes in immigration rules. And I think that's where the parachute option is a great way, isn't it? Because it's the fastest way. You will be one step ahead if any changes and immigration rules. I mean, you do have you're already in the UK, and it's the fastest way. The share purchase, it takes about 3 months. That's a standard time, but we can even fast track. And then the self sponsorship is your parachute plan. So we can actually, you can take some sort of time in terms of, you can activate it at a later stage or earlier. But as soon as you activate, we start working on your self sponsorship. But you will be in the UK by that time. And I think that's a good about our parachute option. Any legislation change will not affect you because you are already in the UK. Well, the new changes will not affect because your case will be considered under the current rules. And that's another point to make. Imran Ali, I'm from Pakistan, job Saudi Arabia. I think you're working in Saudi Arabia. Al Heart Chocolate Company, 8 years experience. Okay, so Imran, again, we need to talk. We need to understand the qualification experience, and we'll see what visa will be best to tailor for you. Thank you. Harvey, this is I think the time is up. Just want to say thank you, everyone. And Harvey, maybe you would like to add the final comment before we adjourn. What would you advise to our audience today before we conclude this webinar?
I would just say 2 words: hurry up, because the rules are going to change. The government have promised they're going to change them. As we talk, there are lots of people in the government offices busily working away, seeing what can they do to make it more difficult. So you don't want to hang around.
Brilliant. And if your ultimate goal is to come to the UK, is it for your family, for your business, career reasons, or getting permanent residency or citizenship, we have solutions. And not only in the UK, we have in Isle of Man, Republic of Ireland, and we look forward to speaking with you. Thank you very much, Harvey, for your input today.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
And see you soon. Bye-bye. Bye. This is the end of the webinar.